do we use chemicals in Trinidad and Tobago, or are there chemicals in use in Trinidad and Tobago that are not used internationally, or that are banned internationally?
We do not have chemicals that are registered for use in Trinidad and Tobago that are banned under the Stockholm Convention, that are banned or listed under the Rotterdam Convention. We may have chemicals that may not be used in some countries due to their special circumstances. But of course, like I said previously, we are guided by the bodies of science and by the conventions that we've signed on to in order to protect our citizens.
Okay. And my final follow-up in this regard, Mr. Chairman, there is an issue between monitoring the use of chemicals and the importation. So the inspectorate is able to manage effectively what comes into the country. And if I want to follow up from Member Webster Roy, when it comes to pesticides in use by farmers, is it a manpower issue why the inspectorate cannot or is unable to? If I'm wrong, you could correct me. Why the inspectorate is unable to treat with the pesticides in the field in terms of meeting the farmers to find out what they're using and to make sure that they are using them correctly.
I think it's a more than just that. The Ministry of Agriculture, of course, is that arm that would interact with the farmers directly and through the extension services to determine from the farmers what they are using and, of course, provide that recommendation. So I could ask if I can defer the question to the Ministry of Agriculture for their input as well.
Sure, no problem.
Yes, so all the pesticides which are registered by the board are available on the open market and are accessible to all farmers, but to the extent of use, no formal surveys were current to guide that answer.
So, Mr. Chairman, the challenges that we may be facing in terms of what Minister or what Member Roy would have mentioned in with regards to produce having particular smells and residue. How can we say for sure that we are consuming safe produce in terms of the pesticide usage at the farm? How is that regulated? So if I go to purchase, let's say, a cabbage, how can I be sure that what the farmer is using is safe and is within the withdrawal period and all of that? How could I be? What assurances could I have as a consumer?
Senator.
Yeah, I think that answer probably might be better from Ministry of Health, but also the quantity of pesticides which are imported can give some guide as to what is demanded on the local market as well. So some surveys were done by UV at Dr. Sarah. I think that was mentioned by the chairman. But a lot more needs to be done to get that data outside there. But the factor about contamination of produce and safety to consumers is directly linked to ability to test the produce.
So the Ministry of Agriculture has recognized that, as we said, judicious use of the available pesticides or chemicals is very important. So we have our extension officers that will do some continuous education with farmers. When we do training courses, we have scheduled, structured training courses. Our, if you want to call it, our students or our clients are also educated on it. And I also want to indicate that NAMDEFCO, which is also, while not core ministry, under the ministry, has actually developed good agricultural practices, a booklet of good agricultural practices that will guide the farmers, and this is currently being rolled out. They have over 3,000 registered farmers, and they do some monitoring of the farmers and judicious use of chemicals and other aspects of it. So that's how the ministry has addressed and has tried to sensitize and educate some of our stakeholders with respect to judicious use of chemicals.